what the trick is for the week, you know what? We better go ask the Dans. It's far enough into the season. I think it's time you know the truth. Let's go get them. Don't tell them I told you this. My music is so hard, makes me say, oh my Lord.
Hear ye, hear ye. I, FPVSkittles, do declare this third secret meeting of the IGOW Dans officially in order. Let's start with roll call, as always. IGOW Studios Dan. Here. In-house reporter Dan. Present. Field reporter Dan. Is this really necessary? I mean, there's only 5 of us. You see that we're here. I mean, it's not as much for you and us as it is for the viewers. I mean, just say here. Whatever. Here. Stick cam Dan. Here. Let's go. Alright, so we got everyone. First, let's open up the meeting by talking about the first challenge video. Field reporter Dan and IGOW Studios Dan. I really like that bit you did with the whole tree orbit and the bare minimum office space joke, but I'm not sure if the pilots really picked up exactly what you were putting down, considering we got 150 videos of orbiting trees. So maybe be a little bit more direct with exactly what you want in the future. Just a note. Alright. In-house reporter Dan, great job on that second challenge explaining what a chair was. Thanks, Captain. I do the best with what I can assign. Yeah, excellent work. One note, just make sure you wear the same wardrobe. We don't want to confuse the viewers with you having a different shirt on in the future. Got it? Alright. Stick cam Dan, you've been killing it. Anything new to report? Yep. As you know, we recently were sponsored by Radio Master, and this week we will be switching to the Radio Master Boxer with IGOW1 gimbals. Purple color, they look really sweet. And I've only flown it a few times since setting it up, but I love it already. The gimbals are so smooth, it feels great. Awesome to hear. I can't wait to give it a try. Alright, sounds like we're all caught up. Anyone else have anything? No? Alright, so now let's discuss what we want to do for week number 3. This week is going to be sponsored by TinyWhoop, and in past IGOWs, TinyWhoop has had the Flips and Rolls challenge. What do you guys think about that? We had a flip and a roll in week number 2. Yeah, shouldn't we feature a new trick like power loops or something like that? You know what my vote is for? Barani's. What? How did he get in here? It's week 3, Barani Master Dan. You really think we should be doing Barani's right now? You've got 1,700 players left still, and you said you'd be down to 16 total in about 13 weeks, so just saying, options on the table. I think it should be something that gets the pilots up and out of their houses. Alright. I know, I wish I could leave this place. You know where I'd be. Hey, put the plane in. At least you've got pants. I'll trade you. I wish I could stay inside all day. You guys aren't being very helpful. Having you around is supposed to make this easier on me, not more difficult. Oh, so sorry, Master. I don't know. Seems like maybe split S or power loops or something like that would be the natural progression from here. What about building dives? Ooh, I love dives. You don't think week 3 is too early? I know you guys typically use it as like a break week a little further along in the season, but with this shortened regular season format, I don't know how many breaks we're going to be able to give out, if you know what I mean. He makes a good point. If we come with another difficult combo challenge, like this 7-step one we had for week number 2, we might scare off some of the beginner and newer pilots. Yep, and exactly. That's why I think building dives is perfect for this week. It's not a very difficult actual trick, and it requires the pilots get out of their comfort zone and find new exciting places to fly. So I think it's a perfect challenge. Okay, let's do it. Building dives has always been my favorite week in past IGOWs. I think as many of the new pilots should get to experience it as possible. Alright, building dives. Okay then, it's decided. IGOW4 weekly challenge number 3 is TinyWhoop building dives. I don't want to rain on everyone's parade, but don't we always stress safety and making smart choices when doing your IGOW challenges? Don't get caught if you do anything illegal. But seriously, please don't do anything reckless or stupid for IGOW. If you're unsure if something is a bad idea, then run it by me or another player first, because it's probably a bad idea. Do ask your friends for advice and be careful. Don't just go diving a building in a crowded public area with traffic.
Yes, please use common sense and good judgment when choosing when and where to do your building dives.
How are our Russian pilots supposed to complete this challenge without breaking the law? Wow, that's actually a great point. Yeah, wow. Good point, field reporter Dan. We can't make anyone choose between getting a letter and doing something illegal. That's not cool. We're gonna have to come up with something else. I know. Let's have an alternative challenge for anyone that's not able to dive a building for whatever reason. Perfect. In-house reporter Dan, putting you in charge of making up the alternate challenge. All the other Dans, you guys are on building dives. All right, everyone. Sounds like we got a plan. Dismissed. Man, building dives was my idea, and everyone else gets to go outside and have fun, and I have to stay in the basement. Sucks to be you.
There's a device that I've been using called a Whoop.
Switch.
Hello, and welcome back to IGOW4. Today we will be discussing weekly challenge number 3, Tiny Whoop Building Dives. Dives are Skittles, and thus all of the Dans' favorite thing to do while flying FPV. A really good building dive will get you a bit nervous at first, and your heart will be pumping as you climb to the top of a tall building and prepare for the few seconds of adrenaline as your whoop free falls toward the ground in close proximity to the building face. The challenge-specific requirements for this week are pretty simple. First, find a building or other man-made structure that has a pretty much vertical face for diving. It needs to be about 30 to 40 feet tall at least, and other options in a building include flagpoles, power towers, antennas, wind turbines, bridge supports, lighthouses, telephone poles, statues or art, or any other man-made structure that is pretty tall. Cliff faces are the only non-man-made things that we will accept without specific approval. No more trees. No IGOW. Okay, requirement number 2 is that you dive down the building or structure for at least about 30 feet or 10 meters and then pull up and fly away before you hit the ground. If you just fall down the building or structure and then crash into the ground next to it, that will not count as an acceptable building dive. And as always, there's a 60-second maximum video length for all submissions. And because Skittles loves dives so much, he's put up 3 $25 bonus challenges for this week. The first is the longest dive, and the winner will be the dive that covers the most vertical footage in proximity to the structure. So it's not necessarily just the tallest building, it's who covers the most vertical footage while in proximity to diving their building. Okay, the second is the best crevice dive. And this just means the best dive that is like in a little nook or cranny or outcropping of the building. Proximity is definitely a must to win this bonus. And the third prize goes to the best tandem dive. That is the best dive that has another whoop in the FPV view. So get out there with your buddy and do some dives together. See if you can't follow each other all the way down the building face. I know Skittles and Selenia had some good ones when filming for this week's challenge. Okay, now let's go out to field reporter Dan and Stickcam Dan, who are on location in downtown Seattle, to explain what we look for when picking a building to dive. Hello, field reporter Dan here, and I'm in downtown Seattle where we've got a bunch of tall buildings around us, all that are great for diving. Alright, Stickcam Dan here. and today we're going to be doing some building dives. They're mostly just fun. I'm not sure how much my stick cam's really going to help you on this, but let's do a basic dive first. We've got this building here, which is great for building dives because what I look for when I'm doing a building dive is a building with a nice flat face, and then as you come down it, you want basically nothing down at the bottom that you're going to get lost or caught in where you can't access it. So there's some trees and like stuff here, but we can get to that area, and maybe if it got stuck on that little ledge it might be hard, but at least we have a chance to get it, and that's a pretty narrow ledge. Anyway, that's what I look for when I'm doing a building. Like you can see, this building over here is a great building too, but it's got that mezzanine on the upper level, so if you crash and get stuck there, it'd be really hard to recover your whoop. Anyway, let's get into the building dives. So first we're going to go up. So I suggest you start ascending the building, especially if it's windy, pretty close to the building. It'll help you avoid the wind and kind of keep you on track. You won't get blown too far away. And I'd start with a lower dive, especially if you're at a new building you've never done before. So I'm going to go parse the way up here. And I think the easiest way to get into a dive is just to split S into it. So approach the building, do a split S, and then try to stay as close as possible. I typically roll kind of left and right to try to stay close to the building. Then before you get to the bottom, obviously, pitch up and pull out. Alright, so let's go up a little higher and try a different type of dive. So this time, if you're not comfortable with doing a split S, a good way to go into a dive is you just fly up facing the building and then do a backflip, and then you're basically right into the dive. And then this one typically requires me rolling to stay close to the building, and that's a great way to keep your proximity to the building, doing a roll while you're diving. Let's try to get one more really smooth epic one here all the way up to the top. Alright, when you're climbing, make sure you check your battery. You don't want to run your battery out. I typically don't full throttle climb all the way because it can get dangerous. Alright, we're up at the top, peaking and diving. Try to stay real close on this one. Ooh, there we go. We got a nice shadow going. And pulling out. Alright, everyone. That's a simple building dive. Thanks guys, and great job on building selection. You found an excellent example building for this challenge. Okay, and finally, like we discussed in the cold open, if for whatever reason you are unable to find something to dive, then you can perform the alternative challenge option, the indoor flips and rolls. The requirements for this alternative option are: 1. You must set up an IGOW approved gate somewhere indoors with 10-foot max ceiling height. The gate can be set at any height. The second requirement is that you perform a front flip and a back flip through the gate in the same clip with no bumps or ground taps. The order doesn't matter, you can go front flip or back flip first or second, but you must perform your flips as you pass through the gate, meaning you must start your flip before you enter the gate and then complete your flip after you exit the gate. And you must show control flight after you complete your flips. The third requirement is the same as the second except with rolls instead of flips. So you must do a left roll and a right roll in the same clip with no bumps or ground taps as you're going through the gate. Alright, now let's go to in-house reporter Dan, and he's going to show us an example of this alternative flips and rolls challenge. Hey everyone, in-house reporter Dan here, and I get to show you the alternative challenge while all the other Dans are out doing building dives and having fun. Though I must say, Stickcam Dan was right. These IGOW4 gimbals on this Boxer are smooth as butter. Alright, so for the alternative challenge, you need an IGOW approved gate set up inside. It can be at any height. I have mine a little lower here just so I can capture this images on the camera. But for the first flip, you need to do a front flip and a back flip with no bumps or ground taps. Those both have to be in the same clip. We'll start with the front flip. Alright. And then also a back flip. Alright, so we did those both going through the gate with no bumps or ground taps, and it had to be in the same clip. Plus, you have to start your flip before you enter the gate and finish it after you enter the gate, after you exit the gate. So you have to do your flip as you're passing through the gate. And it's the exact same thing with the rolls. You have to do a left roll and a right roll. All the same rules, no bumps, no ground taps, and you have to start before and end after the gate. So here we go. Right roll. And the left roll. Alright, and we've completed the alternative challenge for tiny whoop building dives and also flips and rolls. Let's go back to IGOW Studios, Dan. Thanks, in-house reporter Dan. Great job on those flips and rolls. Alright, IGOWers, remember, this is Skittles' favorite challenge, so get out there and find some awesome buildings to dive. Good luck and happy whooping!
I'll dive and you go in front of me then. Alright, ready? You just passed me. Whenever you're ready. Yep. I'm like so on you. Yes, that. Yep. Yep.
3, 2, 1, go.
That was it.
Got it?
Yeah, and I like spun and kept you in frame the whole way.
No way.
Yeah, like I could see you the whole way in my like